How many times have you had the experience of losing weight only to gain it all back and you can't really say what happened? Welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. This is episode number 166. Avoid the undertow to stop binge eating and lose weight for good. Hello, welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show, or welcome if this is your first time here. Today's topic is avoiding the undertow so that you finally stop binge eating and lose weight for good. Why would you want to stop binge eating? Because it's not helping you lose weight, because you feel totally out of control, because it makes you hate yourself and you feel like a loser, even though you're super smart and super successful in your business or career life. You're still having this major lifelong problem with your eating and your weight. So I am going to share with you what the undertow is, why it's so important to avoid it, and before we're done, I'll share with you how you can actually remove the undercurrent and get to the bottom of this problem once and for all. If you want my help to do it, I'll share that with you before we're done here today. But first, if you have never tuned into the JoLynn Braley Show before, you might be wondering, who the heck is JoLynn Braley? Well, I am the permanent weight loss coach who is a master certified NLP practitioner, master certified consciousness shifting coach, master certified law of attraction coach. I'm also certified in regular life coaching. I'm certified in hypnosis. I have a lifetime of my own personal metaphysical studies, mind-body studies, and I have my own experiences with struggling with overeating, overweight, food addiction, making excuses, lying to myself, denying that it was really a problem. All of these things that I talk about on the JoLynn Braley Show, the reason I can talk about them is because I've been there before. And what I do today, actually what I've been doing since 2009, is I have been professionally coaching weight loss coaching clients who are super, super awesome. I love my coaching clients. They are willing to do something totally new. They want to change, and they are excited about getting to the place of freedom with food and their weight so that they can stop emotional eating, stop binge eating, and make weight loss no big deal. Actually make it struggle-free. That's what I've been doing since 2009 in the Inner Self Diet. The Inner Self Diet is the diet that is required if you want to fully succeed with your weight. You cannot leave out the inner self. If you do that, then you're missing 92.8% of the solution. Before we go on and I share with you about the undertow and why you've got to avoid this if you want to stop binge eating and lose weight, not just lose weight, but lose weight for good. No more yo-yo dieting. Go over to www.easyfunweightloss.com, www.easyfunweightloss.com. I have a totally free download for you there. It'll help you get started with making weight loss easier from the inside out. And when I say the inside out, I don't mean your intestines. I mean your head, your mind, your inner self beliefs, your inner self foundation. That is where weight loss is either won or lost before you even get started. You can't get beyond that if you want to fully succeed with your weight. How do you know? Well, a very, very simple test and proof for yourself, which you could test yourself with right now. Do you already know how to lose weight successfully in a healthy manner? Yes or no? You probably answered yes, because 99% of people have already had success with healthy weight loss in the past, but they always gain it back. Are you doing it right now? Are you taking action with the knowledge that you have? Because knowing is not the same as doing. Are you living struggle-free with food and your weight, which means that you're able to just do what you need to do to get the weight off and keep it off? Are you doing that right now? If you're not, then you're missing 92.8% of the solution. And if you're white knuckling it, if you're using willpower, if you're hating every moment of your weight loss plan or weight loss steps, then you still don't have the 92.8%. You're still missing the inner self foundation, the inner self critical you. You're still missing the inner self piece that is going to make weight loss simple, it's going to make it last, and it's going to make it work. If you don't have that, you just can't get very far. Now, there are people that can white knuckle it all the way to their goal weight, and then as soon as they get there, they boomerang right back because they never addressed the inner self, which is where all weight loss is won or lost. So I already said, make sure that you go over to www.easyfunweightloss.com, download my freebie. And now let's get into this topic of avoiding the undertow to stop binge eating and lose weight for good. So here's a very simple way to explain this. How many times have you lost weight? You've gotten all the way to your goal weight, or maybe you didn't even get all the way there. Maybe you got within 10 or 5 pounds. And then you started binge eating again. You became totally out of control with your eating. And the way that you of course, you gained all the weight back plus an extra 10, 15, or 20 pounds. And the way that you talk about this to other people is you say, something happened. And they ask you, well, what happened? Or maybe they don't ask you, but if you ask yourself right now, what happened? You say, I don't know. I don't know what happened. But I got there, or I was almost there. And then next thing I knew, I was right back into the binge eating. I was right back into the obsessing. I was right back into all of the unhealthy food choices, and the weight came back faster than I took it off. And I don't know what happened, but something happened. You can't even identify what it was. So here's what that is. That is the undertow. And what the undertow is it's hidden within the subconscious river within you of your negative, unhealthy, fat beliefs, fat thinking, fat negative self-talk, and it's just this ongoing current that's within you that you're not even able to see and address because it has been there for so long. It ties in with the thoughts of, I can't really lose weight, I can't succeed, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve to be thin. It ties in with all of that, but it goes deeper than that. And unless you address that and you heal it, and you replace that negative subconscious river with a subconscious river of positive, empowering, healthy, thin beliefs, structures, and a foundation that matches the you that you've got to become to get to your goal weight and stay there. Are you following me? So the undertow is in that river of subconscious, unconscious, negative thinking. It is fat thinking. What is fat exactly? F-A-T, fear-attracting thoughts. So when you have this unconscious, subconscious river flowing through you, it's a buildup of a lifetime of fat thinking that you've been thinking about yourself, but you've been thinking it for so long, it's just completely unconscious now. This is what takes you off track. And this is why you can white knuckle yourself down to your goal weight, but you can't stay there. You know what's a great example of this in the public eye are the people from The Biggest Loser who white knuckled their way to their goal weight to try to win the money. And then as soon as they got off that show, what happened? One guy that comes to mind is the one who owned the deli on the East Coast, I think in Philadelphia. And he won The Biggest Loser. Was his name Eric? I might have his name wrong. But he was a deli owner, and he lost something like, was it 300 pounds, 400 pounds? He won his season of The Biggest Loser. And then what happened? Gained it all back. Then he went on Oprah and talked about his failure. Well, what happened there is he white-knuckled his way to his goal weight, and he did it because he was on that TV show. He forced himself, but he never addressed the unconscious, subconscious river of fat thinking, fat beliefs, fat programming within his consciousness to change that so that he would become the guy on the inside that would match the body, the goal weight on the outside. This is what I did with my coaching client, Dave, back in 2010. He was 90 pounds overweight. He actually ended up losing more than 90 pounds. But he was 90 pounds overweight, and he was 55 when I started coaching him, and he did not have a weight loss problem. He knew exactly how to lose weight, but he would always gain it back, and he didn't want to do that any longer. So I coached him. He was super smart to hire me to coach him, and he became the man on the inside that matched the body that he wanted to live in on the outside. You have to have an inner and outer match. You can't be fat on the inside and expect to have a thin body on the outside. So this unconscious river of your subconscious fat thinking has to go, because when you don't address it, then that undertow sucks you right under and you don't know what happens. And then you're right back into the binge eating. You're right back into the unhealthy food choices, buying all that fake food that has all that poisonous, crappy, junky shit in it that makes you want to keep eating more and more and more because the processed food manufacturers want you to keep buying their food, of course. It's highly addictive. It blows up the body because the body can't process it properly. It's not even real food. It's fake. It's not even giving the body fuel to run on. It's just a bunch of fakeness that, the processed food manufacturers know how to make it taste in a way that gets you hooked on it, gets you addicted to it, has chemicals in it that keep you coming back for more. But what happens is when you force yourself to stop eating those foods, to lose the weight, you can't keep it off if you don't eliminate, or actually, you're never going to eliminate the subconscious river. What you want to do is you want to replace it with a river of positive, empowering, thin thinking, healthy thinking, fit thinking. And you want that to go deep within your unconscious so that you don't run into this kind of a experience again where you say, yeah, I lost 50 pounds and then something happened and I gained it all back. Well, what happened? I don't know. It's like the other shoe dropped, and I can't even say what it was. And so now I'm totally afraid to even lose weight again because I'm just going to gain it back because I don't even know what happened the last time. And I've done this 3 times already, and I'm about to give up. You never want to get to that place where you give up. The reason that you haven't succeeded is because you're not addressing the right pieces of the puzzle. Are you following me? That undertow will continue to suck you under in that unconscious, subconscious river of the fat beliefs, the fat thinking, the fat inner self programming, if you don't address it and replace it. The problem with this is that you can't see this on your own. It's a blind spot. Why? Because it's been there so long, because you've been living with it so long. So if you want to get this done and you want to get it done fast, get the right coaching, get this thing taken care of so that you can finally get normal with food and get that weight off and keep it off. I'll tell you before we're done here today what your first step is if you want me to help you with this. Search in the JoLynn Braley Show for the 2 words, real results. And you should find my special 10-part sub-series, Real Results from the Inner Self Diet, where you can listen to 8 exclusive interviews with 8 of my awesome coaching clients I've coached throughout the years in the Inner Self Diet. I limited this to 8 to make it a doable sub-series, and you're going to hear them talk about their struggles that they had before the Inner Self Diet, how they were afraid to change, how they were stuck in black and white thinking and black and white eating, how they had done everything to lose weight, but they just weren't succeeding. And then you're going to hear them talk about their transformation, how many pounds they've lost, if it's struggle-free or not, if it really, really worked for them in the Inner Self Diet. You're going to hear them tell you in their own words. So search now in the JoLynn Braley Show for those 2 words, real results, and you should find my special 10-part sub-series, Real Results from the Inner Self Diet, and you can listen in now and raise your level of hope that it really is possible for you to change too. Couple questions to ask yourself. The purpose of these questions is to help you raise your level of self-awareness. All change is preceded by awareness. If you don't start with that, then you can't even go forward because you can't change what you're not aware of. And you can't change if you don't take action. And you won't take action if you don't get clear. All right, so why not grab a pen and paper, write each question down, write the answers down. It will help you stop the spinning. Well, it's not going to help you stop the spinning in your head, but it'll help you get out of the spinning in your head for a couple minutes as you get focused on yourself. Use that pen on paper. Oh my God, I know this sounds so archaic, doesn't it? Well, have you ever considered that there might be a reason that more and more and more people are struggling not only with their weight, but with their lives because they're constantly glued to a phone screen? Could there possibly be a connection? The only way that you're going to lose weight and keep it off is you have to get right with yourself. You can't get right with yourself when you're constantly spinning and running and avoiding. So, take pen and paper if you want to take a tiny, tiny, tiny baby step towards reconnecting with yourself. And just pause the podcast as you need time to write each question down and then write your answer down. First question, how many times have I said, I don't know what happened, and then I regained the weight that I lost? Number 2 question, if I could remove all obstacles standing in my way, how confident am I that I could finally get to my goal weight and stay there? So all obstacles. your unseen, unconscious river of fat thinking, fat beliefs, fat programming, just like a computer. Remove all the obstacles of binge eating, emotional eating, food addiction, food obsession, excuses, any obstacle in your way. Get totally all systems go with getting that weight off and keeping it off. And if it were really, honestly, struggle-free, how confident are you then that you could really get to your goal weight and you could actually stay there? Number 3 question, what is your biggest fear of finally succeeding with your weight? Number 4 question, how exactly are you going to get to your goal weight and stay there if you don't address the inner self problems? And one of those inner self problems is this undertow that is living within that unconscious, subconscious river of the fat thinking, the fat beliefs, this fat inner self programming that you've been struggling with since this whole problem started. That's where it all started. And I've never met anybody that this problem did not begin in childhood. Doesn't mean that you were overweight back then, but that's where the thinking started. The self-doubts, the self-criticism, the self-hate, thinking that you're not good enough. All of these problems, for anyone that I've ever coached who are struggling to lose weight and keep it off, the problem always starts 5 years old, 4 years old, 8 years old, 12 years old, somewhere in there. So that's a long time to be under the influence of this unconscious, subconscious river that always drags you down and sucks you into that undertow, takes you back to the binge eating, takes you back to the weight gain. It's very, very frustrating, isn't it? So what are you going to do next? How important is it to you to finally get that weight off and keep it off? What is it costing you? Actually, let's add this question in right now. Is this question number 5? What exactly is it costing you now to continue battling with your overeating and overweight, with your binge eating and overweight, with your emotional eating and overweight, with all this stuff? What is it costing you to continue to battle with this day by day by day by day by day? Taking 1 step forward, 3 steps back, 2 steps forward, 4 steps back. What's it costing you? Emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, spiritually. Because the cost is going to be paid in every one of those areas. And you can't avoid it because this problem attacks every single area of your life. Why? Because you take yourself with you everywhere you go. And if you're not happy with the reflection that you see in the mirror every time you get out of the shower, then the way that you feel about yourself and the way that you feel about your body and the way that you think about yourself, it's impacting you mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and spiritually. There's no way to get around that because your body is your vehicle here on this earth, and you take your body and your mind with you everywhere, and how you think is creating what you see because your thinking is going to determine your behaviors, and that determines your results. Are you following me? If you want help to unravel all of this as fast as possible so that you can finally stop binge eating, start losing weight, and make it struggle-free, make it so that you don't sabotage yourself anymore. Your first step, if you want my help to do this, is to go over to www.10minuteweightlosscall.com, 10minuteweightlosscall.com. enter your first name and email address. On the next page, fill out the application. An application is required because this is only a 10-minute call. The purpose of this call is to find out if or how I can even help you. Also to find out what exactly is stopping you and what exactly do you want, to help you gain clarity so that you can move forward. If at the end of the 10 minutes, I do not feel that it is a good fit and I don't believe I can help you, I'll give you another option so that you can have something to go forward with. If I do believe I can help you, and if I'm excited about helping you, if I want to help you, then we'd need to set up another call, which would be a free weight loss discovery session so that we can do a deep dive and really find out more about what's going on with you. We'll only do that, though, if it's a good fit after those short 10 minutes. So you really have nothing to lose and you have everything to gain. And it's your opportunity to take your first step towards freedom from this ongoing battle. Go over to www.10minuteweightlosscall.com to get started now. If you want to, stop asking yourself, why am I so smart and successful but I can't lose weight? What the heck is wrong with me? If you want to kick that frustration to the curb, go to 10minuteweightlosscall.com now. This is JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, founder of the Inner Self Diet, the diet that always works. You have to do it, though, to get it to work. It doesn't work for anyone who doesn't do it. And every client that I've coached through it, even the ones who were extremely stuck, skeptical, and negative, it even worked for them. And remember, you can listen to my special 10-part series, Real Results from the Inner Self Diet, to raise your level of hope that this really is possible for you to stop struggling with your eating and with your weight. Stop binge eating, lose weight for good. Just search in the JoLynn Braley Show for Real Results, and you should be able to find that 10-part series, Real Results from the Inner Self Diet. Just start with the introduction to get an understanding of what that's about. The main thing that series is about is to help you raise your level of hope that is possible for you. And then listen to each one of my clients that I interviewed. I handpicked 8 of them because their stories are so inspiring. Not that my other clients' stories are not inspiring, but I had to limit that series in some way, otherwise it would just go on forever. So, listen to that to raise your level of hope. And as always, I wish you your best life living inside of your ideal body.